you got to be social on social media. So if your content isn't hitting, well, how many people have you engaged with and left a genuine comment? How many people have you said happy anniversary when they just hit their 20-year anniversary? How many people have you wished a happy birthday, said congratulations to their newest business venture? You got to do the social part on social media, and then that's how it turns into business.
My name is Nick Berry, and this is another episode of Connected Conversations in Insurance, brought to you by Canopy Connect. Today, I've got Nicholas Sakha. He is an insurance agency owner, and I know him as a Facebook friend and kind of been watching what he does and wanted to bring him on and have him talk about that. Nicholas, go ahead and give us a quick intro. Let's talk about maybe how you got into insurance and how we got here today.
Yeah. Well, Nick, thanks for having me on. A little bit about myself is I originally came from banking. Before that, I was delivering pizzas, worked at Subway for a little bit. And as I was working to get my degree, I got a business management degree.
You're
So
good.
I was a banker for 7 years while getting my business degree for 7.5 years. Took me a while. And from there, I had this little 401k that I had left. I decided to cash that out to start my Allstate Insurance Agency. Now it's been a little over 8 years. I started that in 2016, and I documented the process a lot. I posted a lot of content and used social media as a tool to find candidates, to get referrals, and to build partnerships with referral partners, and just a ton of networking. And yeah, fast forward today, we're a $22 million agency. We've got locations in Vegas and in Oregon, and we are steadily growing. I started a community that helps insurance agents use social media to grow their agencies and dabble in a little bit of real estate. And yeah, so kind of sums it up, I guess.
Yeah. Now, you said something interesting that I think a lot of people miss. And you said you use social media to attract talent. And I think a lot of people really miss that. We're talking about using social media. And I've been a big proponent of that. You know, it if you're my theory is if you're present and you're funny or you actually show some personality out in the world, when you're trying to hire, people are gonna be attracted to that. Am I right there?
Yeah, if you can display the culture that people will expect just by your content, you're a winning agency, a winning organization, and showcase that online where everyone's consuming all day, every day, it does make it a little bit easier. So when you throw out that hiring post, people are going to have people in mind. And some of my best candidates have come from people that knew somebody that knew me. It's not all the team members. You still have to do Indeed and do these other hiring methods, but it just makes it easier. And the personal referral candidates tend to be a little bit more loyal from what I've experienced. So,
Yep.
yeah, it just helps. It's just social media is just a human aspect digitally enhances it.
Well, and it's funny when people, and, I'll talk about advertising and I'll talk about marketing and everything. And hiring is a marketing activity. It's a marketing and sales activity. When you do put that Indeed post out there or you post on social media, people are going to go look up your company on social media and they're going to look and see what's going on in the business. And if you don't have a presence, and it's no different than your regular inbound sales and marketing, if you don't have a presence on social media, it's going to be harder. And then attracting the right people through, like, hey, if you don't like that kind of thing, you're not going to want to go work for your agency.
Yeah. Brings attention to everything and everybody. If a movie's good, people are going to share it on social media. People are going to be encouraged to go see it. It's pretty undeniable at this point. I'm just glad I caught on early. I listened to a lot of Gary Vee. I I knew that if I just documented and shared the journey, it would create engagement. It would make people want to follow and kind of track your journey. And so it's been very rewarding. It's been very cool. Over the last 2 years, I've actually hired help. I did it all myself for the longest time. But now that I have some help, or a little bit more consistent, we're scaling it, and it's been just a lot of fun and super rewarding.
Yeah. And because of the work that I do, I'm connected to a lot of insurance agencies. I'll see you do something, and 3 days to about a week later, I'll see 17 other agents. It's just funny and a unique perspective being so well connected to people. I'll be the first to admit, I look at what other brands that I like are doing and going, okay, how can I replicate that for my
Yeah.
business?
Yeah. It's everybody's everybody's getting inspiration from somebody. And so our industry is just insurance is just so boring. I think that like that's why I created our community, because I'm like, if people are going to copy me, at least, let me get incentivized for it, right? For me, I only get a little upset when it's just like blatantly like you didn't even add a spin to it. You just like literally copied and pasted my stuff. And here's the best part. You didn't even hit the like button on my content. Oh, at least hit that like button, playa. Like, it costs nothing to just hit that button and show some support. I think everybody gets inspiration from everywhere. I've seen a realtor do something and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm making this insurance related. It's part of the game. I've been big on giving credit whenever I don't add my own spin to something. On Instagram, I'm sure it'll tag the original creator now because it's more of the thing that you're supposed to do. And so, yeah, we've gotten better at that. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, our industry is boring, so you got to do something to stand out. Like our industry is not sexy, but there's a way to make it somewhat more interesting, and that's how you stand out. Because nobody's going on social media to be sold, but everyone's buying, kind of thing.
So I'm going to give away my flow for how I make TikToks and Instagram accounts. I have CapCut and I love CapCut. I literally just scroll through their templates and go, what funny thing can I say? My favorite is that cheerleader clap where they have somebody stand up and that.
It doesn't get old. Like, I've seen it so many times, but I watch it every single time.
Now let's talk about that creative flow for you. Do you set time aside weekly to work on content and create videos and create that content?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you have to time block for. It's not always easy to time block for because you open up your email and it's just like, oh, got to put out some fires. Fortunately, I've built a good leadership team that I'm practically removed from my agency that allows me to time block and create content. I've always time blocked for it. Early on, I came in on weekends to film content because I just didn't have time during the week. As I'm scrolling social media, I like to think that I'm researching my content ideas, but it's easy to get lost. I know you've done it too, where it's just like you hop on TikTok and you're just like, oh my goodness, like where did 40 minutes go? All right, I need to get my life together real quick. What am I doing? But yeah, all day long, my mind works in, oh, that's a good content idea when I'm actually trying to be intentional about it. And I got to be in a good creative flow too,
Yep.
because we just moved recently. And if I'm consuming the wrong content, i.e., politics and stuff, it really doesn't put me in that creative flow to want to create. So when I'm stressed, but yes, I try to dedicate at least 2 to 3 hours a week to like, let's batch create some content. I've got different outfits here at the office, so that way I don't look like I'm wearing the same outfit in the content. If you look at the pants, right, I'm usually wearing maybe the same pants, right, if you catch on to that. But I have different shoes, I have different polos. It's so important for your business that you have to time block for it, just like you would time block for looking at data, just like you would time block for calling candidates. You have to make it a part of your process. And it's just too important to put off nowadays.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So I have to do a lot of creative work, create for ads and stuff like that. Elizabeth, who edits, is our content manager and edits the videos and edits podcasts and stuff like that. I'll send her like 6 or 7 memes and she'll be like, aren't you supposed to be working on emails or ads? I'm like, yeah, but my brain went meme today. So that's what we're going to do for the next hour.
I mean, it's got to get done, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's a task that needs to be done anyway. So it's like still productive work, right?
Yep.
I mean, whether you're consuming other people's content or like, I like to think of like, what are real life scenarios or what's something that's funny to me, and then try to reverse engineer it. And sometimes it hits, sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. And to your point, you say you do a lot of creating ads and stuff. It's like when you create or I'm just getting into ads, believe it or not. I've been strictly organic, for the last 8 years. And when something hits organically, then it's likely going to hit as a paid ad as well. So it's just like, let me just test it for free.
Yep. I do a lot of that on Twitter to figure out what kind of content to create. I'll run my mouth on Twitter on a topic and see what the insurance agents and the people who follow me hit on. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, we need to make some content about that. Now, I want to talk about, you have an Allstate agency. What was leadership and corporate's take on what you were doing when you first started?
Yeah. So I'll tell you that, early on, it just started with me. Let me document the process. So if I'm in training, like, let me make this a big deal.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times when you make something a big deal, people are going to respond to whatever that is. And I try to also do that with my team members. Instead of my team member just starting and saying, like, hey, everybody, hit me up for a quote. Instead, like, that's not effective. It's like, what do you mean hit you up for a quote? What do you sell? Like, what do you even do? So instead, it's for a team member, it's friends, family. I'm so grateful and excited to announce that I just passed my P&C exam, and soon I'm going to be licensed to help you with auto, home. And so, people love when people pass a test. So it's like that usually gets like 100 likes, 200 likes. It's just as up there with like I proposed or I started a new job or I'm having a baby. So make that a big deal. When I was starting, I would document me in training and I would like tease it. I'm like, I'm up to something, guys. I'm up to something. Something's coming. November 1st, November 1st, November 1st. And I was like hyping it up like this like big day. And then what's really cool is like now that I have that content, it's not a lot, but it's like I can refer back to that. Once I hit year 10, I'm like, dude, this was my first office. This is the story. People like the journey. Why is The Rock the highest paid actor in the? I don't even know if he's still the highest paid actor, but he's not a great actor.
Yeah.
We fell in love with his journey,
Yep.
like wrestling. He had $7 in his pocket when he failed college football. Then he didn't make the Canadian football team, and then he got into wrestling, had $7 in his pocket, became the biggest wrestler in the world. Takes this leap of faith, gets into acting. Is horrible at first, but he kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They adapted to The Rock.
Mhm.
Like Arnold wasn't a great actor either, but the world adapted to him, and now The Rock is like selling everything.
Yeah. Didn't he just sell it for like $1 billion
I don't even know if he sold it.
or valued at or something like that?
It's insane.
Yeah.
So early on for me, it's like I just documented it. I don't think the company necessarily had a problem with that, but then I was told like, hey, you might want to keep your company out of your marketing and branding, etc. So now it's Allstate on the outside, Sakha agencies on the inside,
Yeah.
and Allstate's nowhere near my stuff. Yeah, so they're branding and none of it's in my content anymore. And so for all everybody knows, it's like I'm independent, and I post, whatever I want, whatever I perceive as funny, I post it. I've had videos go super, super duper viral that are non-insurance related. So we cast this wide net. Virality doesn't always turn into business, but it does, give you social proof. It gives you like all these other things that attract people, right? Like referral partners, candidates, etc. That's what we've done there. All it does take is for somebody to just have it out for you and to report you and complain. I dabbled in political posts this past Sunday, and it was just critical, going into another war, which I don't want to do. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people like, wow, your true colors, I'm out. And a lot of people like unfriended me and stuff. I took the post down because I was like, dude, I don't even talk politics. I just literally don't want to see more people die. Somebody reported it, and funny is they're an idiot. Let's just say their profile photo was in the complaint, so I know who it was. All that to say that I've never gotten in trouble for my content. I dabbled in politics with one post, which I never do.
Yeah.
And it got me, in a little bit of trouble. But I haven't had an issue with posting content. I think companies are waking up to like, oh crap, like this is the thing now. And, their content sucks. It's cookie cutter, right? Like a lot of companies' content is like 5 ways to change a tire, or don't leave your fireplace on in the winter. And it's just like, bro, nobody's gonna be like, oh my god, I need an insurance quote after they see something like that.
Well, I've always approached that content as something to say and send later. Like somebody comes into your ecosystem having a library of content to send as follow-up content is the only reason that stuff needs to exist. Other than that, the attraction and the magnetic, creating a magnetic agency that I'm pushed for, creating content that shows off your personality, that shows off your expertise sometimes, have fun. It's social media. It's not supposed to be a sales environment all the time. It's supposed to be someplace to connect and interact with other human beings.
You got to be social on social media. And a big thing that people miss is you've got to show love to get love. So if your content isn't hitting, well, how many people have you engaged with and left a genuine comment? How many people have you said happy anniversary when they just their 20-year anniversary? How many people have you wished a happy birthday, said congratulations to their newest business venture? You got to do the social part on social media, and then that's how it turns into business.
Sales is all about, and unfortunately, too many people approach sales as taking. They're always taking. And same thing with Gary Vee teaches us this, the jab, jab, jab. I go 10 jabs before I throw a right hook. I don't do 3, I do 10.
Yeah.
Giving, giving, show, yeah, interacting with people. I literally have time on my personal and business calendar for interacting on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter. It's not a lot of time. It's about 25 minutes per channel per week, but that's usually enough to scroll through and interact with the people who are new to my audience, the people I've interacted with recently, or people who I like. I'll intentionally go, what's Nicholas going up to? I want to go to your page or my other friends' pages and stuff like that.
It's always good to just give. I never had a product, nothing to sell. And I was just losing money, paying a videographer to drop 2 videos a week. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about when I first created that, but I was like, let me just talk self-development and insurance and entrepreneurship. And then the insurance stuff hit. So I'm like, all right, let me create more of this stuff and just put out content 5 years. And I was at some point, I was like, all right, I should create something. And so anyways, so all that to say that when you can delay the ask as long as possible, you will win inevitably. I think it's just give, and then you'll be able to find out where you can help fill a need and help people.
Yeah, no, that's dude. It's everything about social media is doing those things, and it's funny because actually I just had this conversation. My wife has been telling her friends that I'm a social media manager. And I'm like, dear, I run paid media. It's not just social media. It's all kinds of things. But it was funny because it's funny also, people don't really realize what you do for a living if you don't say it. And I'm okay with people not knowing what I like. I know my bosses probably wouldn't be very happy with me saying, hey, it's okay that you didn't know it. I didn't know us at Can't Be Connect. But it's also part of my brand. My personal brand is I talk about insurance stuff. I do insurance stuff, but my whole life doesn't have to be about my company.
Yeah, it is important to remind people, though,
Yeah.
the how you help people. But yeah, your feed can't be sales pitch, ask, that turns people off really, really quickly. But I think you're doing it. You're doing a great job, bro.
So we're coming up on the end of that 30 minutes. Any last imparting words you want to put out there for anybody struggling or trying to figure out social media?
Yeah, that we don't know how long we're gonna have with this free tool, and now with AI cutting into everything, I think no matter what, authentic content and filming you is still going to be powerful, because no matter how real AI is going to get, it's still not going to be able to communicate that real emotion, that transfer of emotion. I mean, who knows? Maybe it will. But I think social media is still a free resource to build up your personal brand. So many opportunities can come from having a personal brand, whether that be in business, whether that be just a wealth of a network of just good people. And so we still have this window to help leverage this thing called social media. And my biggest message is try to go from consumer of content to creator of content. Because a lot of people say, I don't have the time, or I know the how or the what. Well, you do have the time, because if you look at your phone analytics, you're going to be disgusted with the amount of time that you're spending on social media. It can be used for, like, go engage with people for 20 minutes a day. Like, just leave authentic, genuine comments. If you engage with 20 people a day and just send out some good energy and good vibes, you'd be surprised with how that comes back to you when you start, creating content. A guy I know that made a total of 3 Facebook posts in all of 2024, a good friend of mine. When I asked him to send me his phone analytics on a weekly basis, he spends 16 hours on Facebook. And he made 3 Facebook posts in all of 2024. So if he were to use that 16 hours a week to, let's just say, like, half the 8 hours of it was engaging with people, and then the other 8 was just document and create some content, what could that do for his business? So I just encourage people to just think of it that way. You do have the time. You just have to time block it, and just like every other responsibility that you have within your business, make creating content a priority. And there's a lot of things that you can do, technical things to make it actually like land. But just send it. When's the last time you just talked into the camera and just said, "Hey, everybody, just want to say happy Wednesday, have a great day." Like, even if it was something as simple as that, like, you're going to reconnect with old people that know you, and you just have no idea where that conversation goes. When I retrace everything, even being on this podcast, when I reverse engineer everything, it comes down to what? Content and relationships. You're not asking me to even, like, share this space with you if I don't put out content.
Dude, those are great words. Now, anybody who wants to connect and learn more, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Facebook, Nicholas Sakha, Sakha, and then Instagram, TikTok, Nick Sakha. So, Nick Sakha or Nicholas Sakha, and that's how you can connect with me.
Dude, I appreciate it.